Well, welcome to another episode of Business Ahas. We get to have, actually, this is a repeat guest. We started doing the Business Ahas about, I don't know, 5 years, maybe 6 years ago. And I believe JW, which is our guest today, was one of our third, fourth guests that we ever had on the show to begin with. So we invited him back because you never know what may have changed. And having a dear friend as JW, we've been friends now about 20 years, believe it or not. And having him be able to talk about his business, his successes as a leader. And I said, "Do you remember what the questions were?" He goes, "No, I don't remember what the questions were." So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce my dear friend JW Rayhons. And JW, hey, welcome, man.
Jim, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anytime we get to spend time together, right?
That's right.
It's a super fun. A little bit different of a venue.
It is.
Than originally when we had it, but I'll tell you that it's been a thrill to more than anything else in my entire life to call you a friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel the same way. We've gotten to experience a lot together. We've gotten to see a lot together. We've been able to achieve a lot together. We've been able to overcome challenges together. So
we have as a team.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, I've got three kind of simple questions for you, and we can go through all three, and it should be pretty straightforward. The first one is, talk a little bit about why you chose to get in the business that you did. And now you're celebrating 25 years.
We did.
So you started when you were 6, right? 4.
Appreciate that. Not far off from that. Yeah, not far off from that.
So starting off when you're super young, and actually you're going to see this maybe a little bit later. We actually have a special guest today, and you were like wickedly surprised.
Oh yeah.
And so was the guest wickedly surprised. Who we have today with us is Blake. Rayhons, which is JW's brother.
I know, that's outstanding.
So Blake didn't know that JW's going to be here, and JW gets here, and he goes, "I say, look who's here." And he goes, "Who is that?" I'm like, "You can't see it's your brother." And he goes, "No, he can't tell him when he's from the back." I'm like, anywho, so yeah, so we have his brother here today, so we'll get some afterthoughts on how today went as well from his perspective as well. So the first question is that 25 years ago, 26 years ago, why this industry? Why did you choose that you want to make a difference in people's lives with their investment in their lives from a financial perspective? Just curious.
Thank you for asking that question. And for anyone listening, I really hope that our conversation today is going to have a great impact. I hope that we're going to have some fun and that they're going to gain a lot from it. Here's what it comes down to. I was 20 years old, so I didn't entirely know what I was getting into.
Now it comes out that you were 20 years old.
That's right. And I was still in my final semester of college. And so the reality is I didn't know entirely what I was getting into. And so really the majority of what I had was the reason why to do it, which was, as simple as it sounds, I really wanted to help people create and live the lifestyle that they wanted. And I just kind of figured if we got really good at helping them with the financial part of their life, then it would free them up to enjoy the other things that they enjoy so much more than probably thinking about money. And so that's where it started. It sounds overly simple, but that's really what it was. And even at that time, I say, ignorance was probably my greatest asset, because at 20 years old, do you really know how hard it is to start a business? No, you just go after it. You take it a step at a time. You learn as you go. And it's turned out this has probably been one of the greatest businesses and professions I could have chosen. And it's brought an enormous amount of blessings and gifts to my life that I could have never imagined.
Sometimes you mention puzzles and puzzle pieces. And if you have to design a puzzle piece that defines the human being that is the perfect fit for somebody to explain to somebody else, there's more to life than just money for success in life. You, in my opinion, are that puzzle piece.
Well, thank you.
Dude,
I appreciate that. That's a great compliment.
Yeah, and I'm also a client, so I can say that. And you can't say that I'm a client.
Nope, I cannot.
But I'll tell you, as a client, dealing with your staff, and thank goodness I have somebody smarter than you dealing with our account.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as any business owner would know, Jim, and you know this because you're a business owner too, smart business owners hire people that are smarter than them. And we have an outstanding team. And there's plenty of people on our team that are smarter than I am. We'll decide how vulnerable we're going to get, but I tell you what, I'll lead the way. Interestingly enough, we have 15 people on our team. Okay. I'm the only one that doesn't have a degree.
Only one.
I do not have a 4-year degree. I started in business right out of community college, and we have great people around us that are way smarter than me, and their education shows.
And all
it.
14 of them, or 15, have a bachelor's or higher degree.
Yeah, I'm thinking through each person, and I'm relatively positive that all of them have a bachelor's or more. A few of them more than that. And
Well, that's a cut. We're gonna just end it here now. You clearly
invite the rest of
we
the
can't
team.
have people on the show that are that
Right.
aren't educated, right? Yeah.
Well, you know
No, I'm
what's
kidding.
crazy about this is, you know a lot of different business owners, and there's many of them that don't necessarily have a degree, but they've become some of the greatest business owners that you know.
And it's funny. It's probably fair to say, JW, we don't care,
No,
and we don't ask.
no.
We don't say, "Hey, what's your degree in? Where'd you
Yeah.
go to college?"
You know what the reality is and I'll say this of our profession, our business, when it comes to financial advisors, investment advisors, the reality is, this is my belief. Others might have a different belief. My belief is we're not in the financial business. That's what we get to do, but we're really in the trust and relationship business. And if we're in the trust and relationship business, then yes, do we need to be educated? Do we need to know what we're doing? Do we need to be specialists? Do we need to be craftsmen in our profession? Yes, we absolutely do. And there's been a tremendous amount of education that any of us as advisors have to have and have to continue to have in order to stay credible and relevant. Beyond that, you know what people want to know? That they can trust us and that we're going to help them actually accomplish the things that they want to accomplish, and or we're going to help them make those really important life decisions that require money and planning to make them happen.
Period.
That's it.
I love it.
And I tell you what, when you take that approach, the relationships we have with people are incredible.
Insane.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's where the blessings and the gifts come in, is the things that we get invited to that have nothing to do with somebody's finances, or the pictures we get, or the videos we get from vacations that people went on, or a child or a grandchild's graduation, or invitation to a wedding,
Because people are excited to share.
Absolutely.
So as we kind of transition, now we've started the business, you're in it for a while. What was that point of transition when you actually realized, wait a minute, I'm actually running a successful business. We're actually doing this.
Yeah.
Was there a period of time when you actually remember, or was it kind of fluid and you never really can say this was the time when I actually knew that, like, wow, I'm actually, those cars out there, I'm actually helping make those payments, and God, they met here and now they have a baby together. Do you remember a period of time when that happened, hit you?
Yeah, this is another great question, because there is a time period for me when that happened. Here's the thing. I think a lot of advisors, a lot of business owners, I think they just quit too early. I think they just quit before they get to experience the rewards of all the effort that it takes in the beginning. And for me, that happened to be like 7 years in, where I finally realized, no, we're building something special here. We're building something that's going to be built to last. But it was 7 years. And there were a number of times in those first 7 years where I questioned, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this right? Are we going to make it? How are we going to pay the bills this month or next month? All of that, to me, that's normal things that are going to happen. They're going to test your resilience. They're going to test just how badly you really want to build what you say you're going to build. And for me, that was 7 years in, and it was worth it.
Wow. And then 18 years later, now we're celebrating 25.
It's crazy to me.
In fact, just a few months ago, we had our 25th anniversary celebration.
We did.
We got to have a ton of people show up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so nice to be able to see. I think every elected official probably showed up. The mayor was there, and the entire leadership of the city was there. All the people in the community that really are, I hate saying the term movers and shakers, but true friends. And they were there because they wanted to be there, not because they were obligated to be there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Thanks for recognizing that, because I'll share with you. For me personally, I'm going to share 3 values that have always been important to me. And I think what happened at our 25th anniversary celebration is what showed up were the results of the focus on those 3 values. And so those 3 values being relationships, contribution, and gratitude. Like the real focus on relationships that we build, as well as just the gratitude that you show for what's happening, but the contribution that you're willing to make for others, whether there's a return or not. It's just the true desire to serve,
Giving.
in some way, and giving. Yeah. And that's what showed up after 25 years is you don't always realize the impact that you're having in the moment, but sometimes you get to see a glimpse of it later on.
And we got to see a glimpse of it that night.
We sure did.
That was nice.
Yeah.
And afterwards, there was a large group of us that went to dinner. I got to meet your other brother, Preston, finally.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Which one doesn't belong? He's like, it's me.
I appreciate you mentioning my brothers too, because and certainly the surprise today. But the reality is, the three of us really do have a special bond. We have ever since we were young, and that continues today. And I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at in life if it wasn't for my brothers. And my belief is they'd probably say the same thing. And so it's cool that you brought them up a couple times. It's cool to have Blake here. It's cool to have Preston here in spirit, because, man, those two guys, they're with me every single day, whether they're presently physically there or whether it's just feeling them.
It was funny when you showed up here and I said, who is that? And he kind of turned for a second. He goes, that's my brother.
Yeah.
And the look you had on your face, and you're like, and you instantly like jetted off. Like, oh my gosh, I was completely unexpecting this. So that feeling is like, oh, my brother's here. It was totally different.
Oh yeah.
So
and we see each other on a regular basis. It's not like we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah, but it's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an awesome surprise.
So let's shift gears for now for the last time. And that is, I'm going to think about in your professional or your personal life, doesn't really matter if you want to pick something either way. What was that one thing that happened? We usually call it the aha moment. The aha moment in my personal life, my professional life, maybe one of each. Just something that's happened to you that made you say, oh, shit. And that was it.
Yeah.
That one thing that you absolutely, and by the way, once you said it, went back on episode 3 or 4 or whatever it was, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And so if you can remember what is that one thing, or maybe it's 2, there was something so impactful on you professionally or personally that has made such an impact in your life. I know professionally, obviously it's your kids and it's being married and all those kind of wonderful things. But I'm also curious on what is that thing to be able to give that advice to those individuals out there that, oh, wow, that is really profound.
Yeah. It's actually going to be different. I do remember what my answer was the last time we did this.
Well, let's do that first.
That was a few years ago, and now it's different.
Okay.
So I want to share a word with everyone. The word is this: fortitude. That word to me carries so much meaning.
And to have it, I hope.
And to have it, yeah. Because to me, what fortitude is courage with persistence. And the moment that I'm going to share with you and with everyone listening this time around is because it required exactly that. But it was also that moment where I felt like it was proven to me over that I have the fortitude to navigate whatever is going to come up, especially the things you don't see coming. Because the aha moment I'm going to share this time is the one I didn't see coming. I mentioned this is a trust and relationship business. I place a lot of trust in the team members that we have. And it's actually one of the things that I really love about leadership is when you surround yourself with people that you know you can trust. The reality is I had to experience something where I put that trust in someone and they abused it. And I didn't see it coming until I did see it, and then had to take bold, quick action in order to overcome it. And because of that aha moment, it gave me an even greater, stronger confidence to know that, hey, there's probably going to be even more challenging things that are going to come up in the future, but I'll be able to handle it. We'll lead through it, and we'll look ahead. We'll have the fortitude, the courage with persistence to get through whatever that is. Because the reality is, this particular person, they shifted the finances in our company so dramatically, it could have easily put us out of business and wiped out 20 years worth of work. Because it happened just, let me see if I can remember the time. It was either just prior or just after we celebrated 20 years in business. And it nearly wiped out all of that.
In about a year total time.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Exactly. And now what it took, though, is another thing that there's something that I say to myself nearly every day. And there's a certain set of virtues that I try to live by. And one of those virtues is humility. And in that moment, I feel like my humility was tested, because then I needed both fortitude and humility to go to certain people that I built great relationships with. And I had to go back to them, and I had to go to them and say, hey, I understand we have not treated you with the integrity that I thought we were. And I own that. I led the company. I should have saw this coming in this person, and I didn't. And so I didn't even blame that person. I didn't even say that it was their fault. I just came to those folks and I said, we're going to work through this. And if you'll give me the time to do it, I will make right on what has happened. And the cool thing is, because of the relationships, they hung with me.
Every single person.
Every single person, they stuck with us. And every timeline we gave them, we were able to fulfill it in a shorter timeline than what I originally promised and agreed to with them. And that was an extreme aha moment for me to go, you know what? No, our focus on certain virtues, our focus on certain values, they really do work in business. They really do, to sustain and get you through anything that can come up. And so that's the aha moment I'll share this time, because we did get to celebrate 25 years. Obviously, we didn't go out because of the particular actions of a certain person. We not only did we get through it, we grew through it. We got stronger because of it as an organization. And if anything, we've been able to see our clients thrive in greater ways because of it. We've been able to thrive in greater ways because of it. And it's been a powerful moment for us to have the momentum that we have right now, because we're going to have a significant impact going forward. And I couldn't imagine what was going to happen in the first 25 years, which means I really can't imagine if these 25 years have been as good as they have been, and we've been able to have the impact that we have. I get really jazzed about what the next 25 years is going to look like.
Well, if you do make it that far, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. When you make it that far,
you trying to put age on me now?
No. You're going to come visit me in the nursing home, because I'll be 80.
Yeah, well, you know the health profession well enough. You're going to be an active 80-year-old that's traveling the world or the galaxy,
brother,
or whatever we're doing.
I so hope I am at 80. I'm whipping it out as it is. Like, what was your name again? So my hip and my knee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why the word fortitude though? I'm curious. Why what made you focus and say it's fortitude?
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately thought to myself, if it's at your aha moment, you have to have fortitude as opposed to not having fortitude. So it's interesting. Is it fair to say, JW, you didn't have fortitude, and then you got fortitude based upon this incident that happened?
Actually, I'd go against that a little bit.
Okay.
If you want to know the truth, is I feel like there was already fortitude within me. It hadn't necessarily been tested in that way. But because it was there, and to give credit to the people around us, right? So I went to our team. I said, hey, here's something, like, we're going to have to really focus on these 4 or 5 things, and we're going to grow, and we're going to get stronger. And so I believe it was in there. It had already been tested in a number of ways prior to that anyway. It just hadn't been tested quite to this level. So this, if anything, it made that fortitude stronger. And where that word is always, it's been important to me for a long time. It's also one of those virtues that I remind myself of on a daily basis. And that comes from the study of the book of Joshua. Obviously, the name Joshua has meaning for me.
Oh, it does.
It does, yeah. And so I've studied the story of the biblical Joshua in a number of different ways, and strength and courage is mentioned so many times in his leadership and what he was called to do. And then that's where that meaning of fortitude comes to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it just came to light more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it came to light more. It was strengthened more. And I think, if anything, it gave me an even greater vision for what's possible because of the business that we've built. Because the business we built creates impact. That's really what it's doing. It's creating impact, significant impact in people's lives.
So what's your advice to that 20, 25-year-old, 30-year-old new entrepreneur that says, I'm gonna do this?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna say, hey, here's the word, and if you think about this word, how is it going to impact them as they start their business, and how's it going to impact them as they continue to be successful in whatever it is they're doing? Because we obviously know the huge percentage of businesses that fail in the first year.
Yeah.
In the second year.
Right.
In the 25th year.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I was trying to inspire our team and energize them a little bit. And so I was looking for statistics on what percentages of businesses make it more than 25 years. It's really hard to find one, actually. They study businesses, a lot of them up until about the 15 or 20-year time period. To find the statistic on businesses that make it more than 25 years is really hard to find. It's probably somewhere in the range of less than 7% or less than 5% of all businesses that are started actually get beyond the 25th year.
They get sold or whatever happens.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And so to that young entrepreneur, or even the new, which is called the new entrepreneur, regardless of age, there's a couple things that I would share. One is, as cliche as this is going to sound, it really is a differentiator. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you're doing it for a surface level result that you're hoping to get, you probably will not make it through the challenges that are going to come up and try to get in your way. And so be clear, like have a significant purpose and reason why you're doing what you're doing, and hang on to that. Now, the other thing that I would share is allow your fears to fuel you.
Allow your fears to fuel you.
Yes.
To fuel.
Yep. Allow your fears to fuel you. Because most of the time what happens is any of us can have a variety of different reactions to fear, right? Something comes up, it makes us nervous, it makes us anxious, we might be scared of it. And so if we're able to embrace that fear and go, you know what? No, how can I use this fear to look forward and let it fuel my efforts into whatever the next level is for where we're going? Because if there's a fear there, then it's probably because it's trying to tell you something. It means you're onto something. It means that you're pursuing something that matters, right? If it didn't matter, it wouldn't scare us. So embrace that fear, let it fuel you, and keep focused on moving forward.
That was awesome. JW, thanks, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation to be here. I'm glad we get to do this again. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do it again, and maybe in 4 or 5 more years. And maybe
we'll
another
I know there'll probably be multiple ahas by then.
Like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
X and Y happened.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what. On behalf of the board developer team, Bennett's with us obviously here today, and Blake, hey buddy, thanks for being here. Big surprise. Obviously I knew because you and I were meeting today, and I'm like, hey, you want to come and have beers at 5? And guess who was going to be here at 5:30? He's like, oh my, it's my brother. No, kidding. No, he said the same thing you did. He goes, really? And so he was super surprised. But on behalf of our entire team, JW, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to share not only the journey of a 25-year successful business, and I'll bet you that statistic maybe even less than 7%.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the success of businesses that are out there. We heard of, Dow Corporation and Pepsi and Coke and all these companies that have these years and years and years of experience. But think of how many companies are started that fail. How many companies that come in and then go away for whatever reason. And to be able to have the success that JW's had for the last 25 years in impacting individuals' lives, families' lives, children's lives, grandchildren's lives, and to be able to make that much of a difference in other people's lives. And remembering the word fortitude, and the having fortitude, the way that JW explained it, and having the courage of having the fortitude, right?
Yeah.
And what that means and how we embrace that as leaders. So on behalf of our entire team, thank you so much. And till next time, and great having you, man.
Thank you.